Good afternoon, everyone, from a very cool Brookvale Oval in Sydney this afternoon, where the Northern Eagles are at home to the Melbourne Storm. And that southerly wind whipping the waves up, go windsurfing out there this afternoon, and it'll be a very quick passage to Lord Howe Island. Here's the Melbourne Storm's dressing room. Melbourne have certainly brought their weather with them this afternoon. And the Melbourne Storm, no late changes to their side. They are as programmed, the Melbourne Storm. And of course, they are coached by Mark Murray. Very important game it is for both of these sides, currently in 9th and 10th position on the ladder, and they desperately want to get into the 8th. There's the Northern Eagles dressing room, and just one change for the Northern Eagles program side. In fact, that change is on their interchange bench, where Gary Winter, who played in the residents game last Wednesday night, is out, and he's been replaced by Anthony Watmough, making his first grade debut. The faithful are here at Brookvale Oval, Manly power. And everybody here is delighted that they're back at Brookvale Oval. It will be on a permanent basis. Won't get anybody here calling them the Northern Eagles. That name seems to be dead and buried. They call them nothing but the Manly Sea Eagles. See that very strong southerly breeze coming down the ground as the Melbourne Storm prepare to make their way up onto to Brookvale Oval. They haven't got a good away record, the Melbourne Storm, this year. In fact, they've been in a slump up until last week in many of their matches. It was a good win last week. Stephen Kearney comes out as the captain this afternoon. Captaincy was taken away from Robbie Kearns, given to Rodney Howe, who's out injured, and so Stephen Kearney takes over as skipper this afternoon of the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, and there's Robbie Kearns, the guy that had the captaincy taken off him not long ago, and he's very important to this Melbourne side today. He had a wonderful game last week, but because the fact that Rodney Howe and Shane Walker are not available here for the Melbourne Storm today, he needs to have a big game to give this side some direction, which they do lack at times.
And Melbourne will be running with the aid of this very strong southerly wind during the first half. The Eagles preparing to leave their dressing room. You would think it would be a great lift for them this afternoon, as the players seem to play much better, certainly when they're here at Brookvale Oval. I know their captain Stephen Menzies is one who loves playing on this ground and feels that his side goes better when they do play here, and they know that they're now back here as Manly, and as their home ground, their permanent home ground, is going to be Brookvale Oval, as Steve Menzies brings out his Manly Sea Eagles. Certainly not a capacity crowd, but given what a cool afternoon it is, it's probably they would be pleased, I would think. The Manly club would be very pleased with the crowd that is here. Stephen Menzies backing up from Origin duties, and John Hopewadi, the last man out for the Northern Eagles.
Eventually getting his place out onto the football field, keeping his hands warm, no doubt, in the dressing room. Unquestionably his best year ever in the NRL. Big hopper. Well, he doesn't get a chance to get through too much defence in a game of footy, but boy, doesn't he get through some work and attack. Last week got through a hell of a lot and has become one of the game's hardest to tackle players. What a wonderful season he's having.
Sean Hampstead, the referee for this afternoon, as we said. Melbourne are running with the aid of the breeze in the, well, it's not a breeze, it's a wind, a southerly wind in the first half.
Oh, he's on one, let him up all the way, Eagles. Oh, Johnny.
And Melbourne just outside their own 20, and the first penalty. Pushing in the play the ball rule, Sean Hampstead, so the first penalty on tackle number 1 goes the way of the Storm, and Scott Hill kicks for touch and finds it just a few metres short of halfway. Scott Hill, another player, backing up from Origin duties last week. Danny Williams will play the ball. Straight ahead goes Robin Kearns, and gets it 11 metres inside Manly's territory. Now away to Orford, pushes his pass on to Robinson.
Held 3, keep those tackles down, Kevin, down. Albert Torrens.
Again working the short side.
On forward,
they lock forward Willie Leisha. Richard Swain, a dummy half. Away to Orford, pushes it on to Scott Hill. Hill sees an opening coming back inside to Rodney Ross. Oh, line. Whenever there's a break on, Robbie Ross invariably is there, and he knew exactly what was on, and that's a great try for Melbourne to start this game.
Yeah, and it was started by one of the best 5/8s in the game, Scotty Hill. A good step off the right foot. Of course, a couple of days after an Origin match, just on the inside of Steve Menzies. Got a huge hole, and if there's any better support player in the game, he and Terry Lamb, well, they've got support to their nose.
Yeah, good try there by the Storm. But they got this off the back of a penalty, a silly penalty deep in their own half. They kicked the ball down. One opportunity, one try being scored. It just goes to show you in defensive lines, you don't slide until the ball has actually gone past you. You do leave your inside very vulnerable, and that's what happened to Steve Menzies. Scotty Hill with a great right foot step was able to get through and offload a wonderful ball to Robbie Ross.
Kicked so well last week, Matt Orford, kicking 8 out of 9 against the Rabbitohs, and this from in front.
Let's go.
Great start by the Melbourne Storm. They lead by 6 points to 0. Of course, those two players involved in that try, Scott Hill and Robbie Ross, have been together for so long. In fact, back in the Super League days at the Hunter Mariners. So they know each other's play so well.
On the kicker.
Of course, that's good news for Melbourne too. The fact that Robbie Ross is getting better with each week. He's slowly getting more confidence. He's having a wonderful year.
He's been dogged by injury, Robbie Ross, but of course he's played for New South Wales, he's played for Australia.
Come on, let him up
He's
all
a
the way.
wonderful fullback at his best, and he's getting very close to that.
Come on.
Marcus by.
Let him up now, let him up. Hold Eagles.
25 metres out from his own line.
He's on 3. John Upwarding, hands off now, hands off.
Played back by Robinson. Richard Swain, a dummy half, feeds his pass then on to Steve Kearney.
All the way, Eagles, all the way, fellas, come on.
Robbie Ross goes in this time to be the dummy half.
Inside for 40.
Kicking early, getting that win behind. Driving it down, you can see the breeze getting hold of that kick and pushing it well downfield to Brendan Reeves. He comes just outside his own 10-metre mark. They haven't had a touch of the ball up until now, the Sea Eagles. Already find themselves 6 points behind on the scoreboard. Nathan Long.
Hands off. All the way, Storm, come on. Steve, all the way, mate, come on.
John Hombawade. He's always so willing to go in and do the work of the forward because he's bigger than most forwards. There's another player on the field, or another person for the Sea Eagles. Let's find out who it is. Andy Raven, sideline.
Outside.
In fact, Andy just can't hear us at the moment, but the player or Eagles official I was talking to was Desley Hasler, who of course was in problem last week against Penrith, where there was a complaint put in by Johnny Lang, coach of Penrith, that he was spending virtually all of his time on the field and helping them with their defensive patterns. So Des Hasler went out, did his job, and very quickly went back to the side. Played back to Richard Swain. Coming up the short side is Robbie Corns. Backwards, the crowd, if you like it, play on, says the referee. Here's Steve Kearney.
Let him go now, let him go. Hands off the ball, Jamie Goddard.
Now away to Warford.
L5 and last, no penalties now, here I am. Hold now.
It'll be played back by Scott Hill.
Outside.
Matt Orford. Orford kicks again. Brendan Reeves. 15 metres out from his own line, takes it. He is put to the ground by Richard Swan. This is Miles.
L2, let him up all the way, Storm, all the way behind me. Now hold.
Straight ahead goes Danny Lehman.
On 3, Robbie Cones,
12
hands
to the
off.
halfway league.
Storm now. Hold.
Nick Kosek
Let him up now, let him
playing
up.
his
Here I am.
150th game today, Nick Kosek. What an effort that is. 150 games, a player who's had no less than 4 knee reconstructions. Well done, Nick Kosek. Luke Dawn. Kick against the breeze, goes down to Robbie Ross. Brings it 15 metres out from his own line, gives it away to Gaia. Now Aaron Will, cutting back across the ring. Out to his own 30, loses it. Lost the ball, cold Aaron Will.
Robbie, just got you.
Let's have a look at it. Some of the Melbourne Storm players complaining that
Just keep yourself straight,
ball
Eagles.
was stripped, but it wasn't. Simply
Right,
lost
Storm
goal
Eagles got the feed.
by Bull, and
Get
so
it,
it'll be
get
a
it,
scrum feed, which is going the way of the Eagles.
In you go, Locks, in you go, Locks. Heads off, foot
30
forward.
metres up from the Melbourne line to Williamson.
He's on one, hands off now, let him up. All the way, Storm, all the way.
Back into the action just behind the Eagles line. Wade,
Hill
very
two, let
keen
him
to
go,
get
let
it
him go.
right.
Hold, fellas, hold.
They're almost
Hold,
up to the 20. The short side through Ben McDougall. They swivel. Ladies there able to put him to ground.
Hill four, let him go now, let him go.
8 metres out. Back to Jamie Goddard. Runs from double half. That's the hit back that they wanted, the Eagles. Originally by Aaron Ball. He spilt the ball as he got up to play it for Melbourne, and the Eagles have capitalised to make it 6-4.
I don't think Melbourne coach Mark Murray will be too impressed about the defence from there either. The Storm players simply waited for a while. Scott Hill, the man that tended to wait and slide rather than move up and attack.
Yeah, great comeback by the Northern Eagles, and won't this gentleman be very happy. Had a pretty ordinary couple of weeks. Of course, he was knocked out in the very first tackle in that City Country game, and he's only had a little bit of footy since. And he's starting in the front row today, which isn't his usual position, but go over that 4-4-pointer. I'm sure he's very happy with it.
See, Lazo, I just don't think you can afford to try and slide. You're 2 or 3 metres from the line. And a guy like Scotty Hill, obviously, he plays that sort of defence most of the time, but you've got to move up and try and take a man front on to wrap the ball up at the very least, try and turn him around or turn him on his back if he does manage to get across the line. That sort of stuff, you don't tend to stop his forward movement whatsoever.
Luke Williamson. Difficult kick this, with the breeze coming straight down the ground from the south. So he's kicking across this very strong wind. He tried to keep it low. The idea was right, keep it low and try and keep it under the wind. The direction was astray, no goal. Extremely difficult goal-kicking conditions here at Brookvale Oval this afternoon. 6 points to 4, Melbourne lead. Scott Hill bringing it back
No starts, fellas.
for the restart. Drives it down to Luke Dawn as the try scorer Nathan Long running past him, and Long brings it out. Good run by Nathan Long. Brings applause from the Eagles fans as he gets it out to his own 20. Now Lima. Good work by Danny Lima to stand on that tackle and load for Brendan Reeves. Goddard a dummy half. Then away to Kosa, given wide to McDougall. Coming back in field, Ben McDougall.
All the way, Storm, all the way.
They're already back inside Melbourne's half. Again to Danny Lima.
L4, hands off now, let him up,
4
let him
tackles.
up.
In a good set of 6 this one, and they get a penalty on the end of it. It's a very good set. Ball back from their own line on 4 tackles to 15 metres inside Melbourne's territory, and then draw a penalty.
Right, fellas, stay in the kicker.
Luke Dawn decides to keep the pressure on. Kicks for line and finds it 30 metres up. Once more to Long. Runs into the clutches.
Let him go now.
Steve Kearney.
All the way, Storm, all the way, hands off now.
Goddard takes it back to the short side. Unloads to Reeves. Reeves got it back to Miles. Miles.
Let him go now, all the way, Storm.
The Melbourne Storm. And it's 12 metres from the line. Now the Kosa. Then away to Dawn. Dawn running it. Gives his pass on the turns. Inside it goes to Watmough. Unloads it back to Danny Lima. Lima was cut down just 5 metres up. Goddard back onto the short side. Tries to go himself. Robertson was first to get to him to make the tackle. Popawade distributes to Luke Dawn, rolls the kick into the in goal. Doesn't go over the dead ball line. Back out to the 20 for the restart by the Storm.
Right, when are you ready? Oh, Luke, come on. Yep.
Tap by Richard Swain. Give it away then to Marcus
Let him up
Fine.
now, let him up. All the way, fellas.
Swain distributes for Orford and then Robinson.
L2, Albert Torrens, hands off. 0 Eagles. Hold now. That's it.
Swain. Robbie Kearns.
He's on 3, Jamie Goddard, let him up now.
Swain running in to be dummy half. Amazing player, Richard Swain. A real Iron Man. He's played in every game for the Melbourne Storm since they came into the
John,
competition.
hands off.
Hasn't missed a match. An amazing, amazing statistic. Orford's kick. Too deep. Wynn gets behind it. Takes a touch in goal. Eagles to Richmond.
Well, both sides not completing the sets of 6 the way they'd like. Both times the kicks have gone over the in goal, but both sides doing exactly the same thing with the football, attacking his short side, and both sides are attacking the right-hand side of the defensive lines from both sides. So they're obviously seeing some weaknesses in both sides, and it'll make some interesting football in the minutes to come.
There's Hasler, comes onto the field again, just behind the Eagles line. This time he might be able to take the sideline. Here's Andy Raymond.
It only took him 4.5 minutes too, John. Last week against the Panthers, he really annoyed Penrith coach Johnny Lang. In fact, Lang reckons that Hasler spent more time on the paddock than most of the Northern Eagles or Manly forwards did. An interesting stat on Manly, they really do find it hard to score points. Very well down in the rankings in points scored, tries scored, and metres gained in the NRL so far in 2002.
Here's the kick by Luke Williamson. A high kick, can't be taken cleanly loose on the ground. Touch. Cut down only a half a metre short. He'll play the ball to Williamson. Unloads to Dawn. Wide pass goes to Steve. Once he's trying to turn it inside the ship way. He couldn't get it. Swain runs on it, but a penalty.
Pushed him out of the way. Yeah, no. You can shoulder charge going with the ball, but you can't push him like you did. You've got to give him a chance to get the ball. You can't push him like that. Wait.
You can shoulder charge, but you can't just physically push a player out of the way. So a quick tap taken by Manly. Now away to Long. Got his pass back to Lima, and he's 10 metres out from scoring. Jamie Goddard goes left to Kosef. Long pass goes on to McDougall, and then to Miles. Miles, a great ball, Miles. Scored a double last week for the Eagles, and he's in again.
Just checking the corner post.
Robert Miles
just ground corner post.
But referee Sean Hampstead just wants to go upstairs and check with the video referee, who this afternoon is John Gosha. He is in superb form, Robert Miles, a very, very good finishing winger. Absolutely no problem there. That is the sign of a winger who knows how to finish a try, Wally Lewis.
Yep, the only thing they're going to have to check here is just his left foot, just before he puts it down, but that's great form. Really stretched out, put it down with his left hand there, no problem there. You're going to have to look at his right foot, actually, that comes across, no problem. It looks to be stuck half a metre in the air. So the green light would appear to be able to please the Brookvale fans once again in a few seconds' time.
Here comes the decision from John Gosha. There it is, and a very good try by Robert Miles. And the Eagles hit the front for the first time in the game, leading by 8-6.
And John, you mentioned that he's in very good form. He certainly is, finishing off the movement very well, but of course it came via a penalty just 2 or 3 plays earlier. I tell you that I didn't think he did too much too wrong at all on the inside. Richard Swain, perhaps it was somebody else. You know, the winger might be doing something right, but also Nick Kosef. He's the man that did it pretty well as well. Threw a lovely long ball out there, and they had plenty of supporting players.
Yeah, leading up to this try, the Northern Eagles had a couple of good sets back-to-back, so they were putting some pressure on the Melbourne Storm. As you said, they got a penalty from a touch judge report of Matty Orford actually grabbing hold of the Manly guy, trying to turn around and grab the footy, which I thought was a bit dubious. Young Miles has left off, picked up where he left off from last week. He scored a couple of great tries against Penrith in exactly the same fashion.
Another tough kick for Williamson. On its way, he struck this well. no goal. Just at the last moment, the breeze against it just held it back. It looked perfect as it left the boot. The direction was right, but that very strong wind just holding it up at the last moment and making it fall short. But a good attempt by Luke Williamson. Northern Eagles running against the strong wind with 2 tries are in front by 8 points to 6. Scott Hill with the restart. Again goes down to Dawn. On it goes to Long. Once more gets it back out to the 20.
Here I'm Storm. Wait, fellas, wait.
Hopawate with the second hitter.
Hands off now, hands off. Let go of his leg.
Shipway. That's
On
the third
3.
tackle. He's 11
Here we are,
metres
fellas,
short
hold
of
now.
halfway. Torrance.
On 4, let him up now, let him up. All right, fellas.
Goddard gives his pass back to Dawn. Kick going down into the mid goal. Marcus By picks it up. Down come a wall of maroon and white jerseys to meet him, and he's put the ground in Williamson's tackle. It was a very good set to start by the Eagles. From their own line, they've eventually been able to finish that set with the kick down into the in goal and then make the first tackle just a few metres out from the Melbourne line.
It was a good set of 6, John, and it wasn't helped by the fact that the intensity level from the Melbourne Storm in defence has certainly dropped off.
Here's a go. Robinson able to get it away to Moore. He's got a lot of pace. Reeves comes across. Infield he kicks. Coming through after it is Goddard. Gould's able to pick it up. And he's tackled 10 metres out, but there's no one with him at the moment. Robbie Ross comes up to me dummy half. Got it away to Orford. Orford able to unload his pass to Hill. Wide it goes. Out by Delaney. He should go in and score. Junior Langey's over. Very good try, which was started by Peter Robinson. He knew the numbers were short out on the left-hand side. Got a good pass away to Aaron Moore, who's got plenty of pace, and Junior Langey finishes off the try.
Well, if you're back less than 20 points to be scored in this game, throw your tickets away. I think you can confidently say that isn't going to happen. What a confident attacking play from Aaron Mule. Put a little chip kick over. There were 4 Eagles players. I thought he made the wrong decision, actually, but it was very well contained. Robbie Ross decided to run the ball to the right-hand side. Very well contained. Orford linked up, and from there it just became a matter of draw and pass. Situation that Langey, he spotted the open line, dived through.
Doesn't matter how good your defence is, you've got to make sure you're switched on against this Melbourne Storm side. They will try and score points or make yards any way they possibly can, and that was just a matter of some good hands. A great run down the left-hand side by Aaron Mule, a great chip and a great regather. Played the football, and of course then it was just the numbers game, and of course Melbourne Storm had too many, and they've bounced back. And as you said, Wally, I think this game has shown already that they're just going to go tit for tat as far as trying scores is concerned.
And Orford 9 metres in from touch on the eastern side. Who's behind him? Kick on its way. Not a good kick. In fact, that was a very hard kick by Matt Orford, and he knows it. But it's a try-a-thon. 17 minutes gone, 4 tries, 2 apiece. We're still in front by 10 points to 8. Kirk Reynolds has just come onto the field for the Storm, with their captain Stephen Kearney getting a break at the moment, as Williamson brings it back for the restart. It's been a very Melbourne-like day weather-wise. Bleak at one stage, then blowing, and now the sun breaks through here at Brookvale. It's still very cool as the kick-off is taken. Down it goes to Scott Hill. They're back out to their own 20 on the first tackle. Marcus By, tackled by Jamie Goddard. Reynolds, his first touch. Swain looking for the runner, and that runner is Danny Williams.
Forward and go now, all right, Jamie Goddard, come on, mate. That's it, mate.
Given away by Lotion. Peter Robinson to play. Final tackle coming up. Orford got away from Dawn. Now uses just a little chip over the top. Bouncing, Miles will go forward, but knocked it on.
Goal 3, knock on by Eagles.
Under a fair bit of pressure, Robert Miles, and just a little knock on before he was able to regain. So this is terrific position now as far as the Storm are concerned. Just 25 metres out from the Eagles line.
Just keep yourself straight, Storm. Right, Eagles, Storm, we've got the feed. Okay, here you go, Locks, here you go. Here you go. Locks in.
Scott Hill at first receiver. To Moore coming straight. Just mistimed it. Ball goes loose. So first tackle. Great position to attack. They've bombed on number one. That's what sends coaches Gray. Lazo, having been a very successful coach yourself in the last couple of years.
Yes, of course, John, yeah, but it's just a matter of at this level, you don't get all that many opportunities, and that certainly was one. And the Melbourne Storm have blown it.
Hands off now, hands off.
Unfortunately, I guess when you're told from a young age that you never give the ball to a player that's in a worse position than you, and that was exactly the case. Hill got himself in a fairly awkward position. Scotty Hill decided he was going to pass the football.
Jamie Goddard almost through a gap. Now pushed to ground. 5 metres inside Melbourne territory sideline. Let's take you to Andy Raymond.
Nathan Long for the Northern Eagles, earning a very well-earned break. He's been extremely busy in the opening 20 minutes. Malcolm Fusi coming on, something of a cult hero down these ways. And Ian Sibbett preparing to come on for the Melbourne Storm. The Englishman off the bench, usually only used reasonably late and sparingly as far as an interchange from Mark Murray, but using him early in this one.
After the kick, Melbourne have it 10 out from their own line, and Matt Dyer being pushed back in the combined tackle of Shulway and Kufusi.
Stand square, Marcus, stand square.
Right back to Danny Williams.
And John, while the Melbourne Storm bring this ball out from their own line, some bad news. Robbie Ross has been taken from the field limping. As you know, he's had some pretty ordinary groin problems early on in the year. Let's hope it isn't a repeat of that injury.
Might have some news on that. Here's Andy.
Yeah, Robbie Ross, as you said, John, coming off, and they're really doing a very big shuffle around. Ian Sibbett, the Englishman, is going down to right centre. I think you will find Junior Lange is moving back to fullback for Robbie Ross. It does not look good. He's had a lot of knee, a lot of calf and hamstring injuries over the last couple of years, and he's a dejected figure here at Brookie at the moment.
Yes, he is, just limping along behind the ball line. As the ball is played by the Eagles, Luke Williamson loses the ball. It went backwards and was touched by Melbourne. The tackle count restarts. Miles is 5 metres inside Melbourne's half.
Hands off, here we are.
Dawn is able to shoot a quick pass away to Tennings. His first touch and first ready. Good score. Tennings gave it pass back on the inside for Melbourne Torrens, and he's lost it. Well, Aaron Tennings, his first touch and first grade, and he came within a whisker of scoring a try.
Can't get much closer than that either, can you? Gee, they did that very well. It's a wonderfully rehearsed move.
Swain. Here's Robbie Ross, dejected figure, as he just seems to be holding on to just to the back of his leg, Robbie Ross. It wasn't the knee that he was holding on to. It just seemed to be more calf muscle as he limps his way back to the sideline. Brendan Reeves, just over halfway where the Eagles fullback will play it. 10 points to 8 in favour of the Melbourne Storm here at Brookvale Oval.
John, that's not a good sign. Straight into the dressing room, not even bothering to sit down and have a quick look at the injury. They obviously realise that it's fairly serious.
Just cannot take a trick with injury for old Robbie Ross. He's had an absolutely wretched run. Jamie Goddard unloads his pass to Williamson, then it goes to McDougall, looking to get on the outside of the defence. Claim though in the tackle of Sibbett. Williamson, high centre kick, holding up against the breeze, now allowed to bounce. Eventually picked up by Melbourne. And Orford. 25 out from his own line, he plays it to Junior Lang.
Stand square, Jamie Goddard. Stand square, mate. That's it.
Kearns draws a penalty.
You've got to stay behind me, fellas. You've got to stay behind me, fellas.
All offside, the Eagles.
Too early. About 3
Penalty goes the way of
yeah.
Melbourne.
Too early.
Nick Kosef deemed to have been the offender by referee Sean Hempstead. Kick by Hill, finds touch, 8 metres inside the Eagles' half. Robinson.
Come on, Albert Torrens, hands off. All the way, Eagles, all the way.
Reynoldson.
L2, let him up there, Jamie. Got out of Steen Square, mate.
Orford. Switch back inside for Steve Kearney. Now to Langy. Some of the crowd appealing that it was a Shepherd, but no one was interfered with through Moole, and then away to Swain. On it goes to Steve Kearney. He's 15 metres out from the line. Swain goes to the short side on the right. Now given away by Scott, who he fired a pass, hoping the middle-agent would run onto it, but it was like an absolute bullet. He had no hope of taking it. The Eagles come up with possession through Ben McDougall.
Yeah, that was a shocking pass there, but I've got to give a rap to the Northern Eagles defensive line. They stayed in the one line, no one came out of the line, so the Melbourne Storm had to make a decision there rather than the Northern Eagles making the decision for them by coming out of the line. So obviously committed in that area, and they'll need to be, because this Melbourne Storm side, as we know, don't die wondering about football in there.
Steve Menzies gets a penalty. Holding down in the tackle, gives Luke Dawn a chance to kick the touch. Here it is again. Menzies struggling to his feet. Robinson holds on to him, pushes him to the ground. That's the reason for the penalty.
I was going to say there's some instructions going on. Desi Hasler, the trainer, is out there at the moment. He's going to come from the field twice and has got instructions from another trainer and has run back to get he can't get off the field himself.
It's all right, Dominic tackle. Oh, fellas,
Very lucky that he still looks very fit, Desi, because he is doing some running.
Certainly is. Here's Albert Torrens making a hard break.
Let him up, let him up, let him up.
They said he was on the field so much he was almost in the voting for the Dally M Awards. Hopawade gives his pass, a long one to Dawn, then on to Menzies. Oh, he fell to take that instinct. Menzies, a very, very good take by the Beaver. Away to Reeves, now to Dawn, inside to Williamson. Goddard at dumbing half, gives it away to Dawn. Grubs the kick into the in goal. Menzies chasing, did he get a hand on Steve Menzies? He thinks he did. The other question, is he onside?
Well, we're checking here. We'll check two things. We'll check the onside and also the grounding.
Onside and the grounding is what John Gosha has to check. The more I see of young Luke Dawn, though, whether this is a try or not, the more I'm impressed by him, and he's just getting better every game.
Yeah, and it's the style in which he does it as well. Of course, it's all going to be controlled. Have a look at the way he drops it onto his left foot. There's certainly no problem whatsoever with 4 or 5 of the Manly players being onside. Menzies, he read very well. He reached around. You can see one of the Melbourne Storm players there is doing his level best to be able to shepherd the ball over the line. Tried with his right hand to be able to push it over. Missed it. And Menzies got on top and pushed the ball down, grounded it perfectly.
Well done, Steve Menzies. The hand of Menzies getting underneath there. Doesn't really show it that clearly, but the first angle showed that he got it down. This one, the right hand of Steve Menzies. Still waiting. Now gets his hand on it. That's a fair try, Steve Menzies. A try-scoring machine. The second highest number of tries scored by a forward in rugby league history.
Don't get too carried away, John. We saw Wednesday night. Yeah, everyone said it was a try from Lockyer, but was given no try. So I'm sure all the Eagles fans are holding their breath, but I'd be very surprised if this isn't given the green light. It's an amazing piece of football there, not only by Luke Dawn, but by Steve Menzies. How many times have we seen him do that? Just does not give up, chases that football to the death, and well, a lot of players would have thought that that was going over the dead ball line, but he hung in there, and of course I think he's going to try.
I give up. I give up. Lazo, you a mind reader or something? How is that not a try?
Well, I don't know, to be honest, John, and I don't know how Lockyer's try wasn't a try either on Wednesday night, so well, I'm a bit bemused, as I think we all are.
Luke Dawn, all the way, Luke Dawn.
Well, as a commentator very famous as a player at this ground would have said, I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
I think he would have been saying more than that.
He would have, Brexy, yes, he would have been, particularly as it was Manly that were denied the try. Well, no try, I can't believe it. Down it goes to Brendan Reeves. We'll find out later from John Gosher exactly why he disallowed it. No try.
Well, Johnny's given a 20-metre restart, which would indicate that he believes that Steve Menzies actually knocked the football off.
But the other funny thing I thought about the whole incident was Steve Menzies never reacted to the whole thing. They ruled it. This is the rule. Press square.
There is the man himself. Rex Mossop.
David, you won't square, mate.
Saw what happened.
You're going too early. You won't square. Come on.
Penalty goes the way of Manly. 10 out from their own line.
You guide dog in the boxes, no
He wasn't taking anything for granted there. He did all the work. I believe he's been absolutely robbed of the try. I'm sure the man he is, he won't dwell on it. He'll get back involved with this Manly side and hopefully get down the field and try and score another one.
Here is Cannings. Looks so close to scoring with his first touch in first grade, and he plays it 30 out from his own line. Now to Kosef. Good bumping run with Kosef. The ball goes onto the ground. It wasn't knocked on. Picked up by Mark Shipway. Played to Goddard. Now knocked on. This time by Hubbard.
I think justice was served there too, John. I do believe there was a knock on there. Nick Kosef tried to give the ball to a player and I thought he knocked it on. It was called play on. One tackle later, big Hopper, the ball to ground.
Knocked on that time by Hopper Wade. Let's take a report on the condition of Robbie Ross's end.
And Macca, it seems the Melbourne Storm are down to 16. Robbie Ross suffering a calf strain, or for better words, a calf tear. I've just spoken to the Melbourne team doctor. It is highly unlikely he'll be back.
That's terrible luck for Melbourne, and particularly for Robbie Ross himself. Let's hope the injury is not serious as Marcus Bai plays it and gets a penalty.
No wall in front of me, whole lot of you.
The Eagles offside. Now what do they do? Swain just getting some instructions. Mark Murray has now sent the word out that they'll take a quick tap. Away to Warford. Then it goes to Steve Kearney. Kearney almost busted through the line. Good tackle by Kosef, got him. Away from Orford, then to Lation. Willie Lation trying to push his way through. Only 2 metres out. He plays the ball to Swain, who goes to the blind side and scores.
Just have a look at this one and see how many times it's held back.
It was John Hopper-Wade who appealed to the referee to say, don't give a try, look at it, there's been a player held back.
Yeah, I think Hopper was probably suspicious more than anything else, and there was, well, I guess, a lot of people in the box as well couldn't believe exactly what was going on. There's no holding back there. Hopper wasn't even watching. He had hold of his man there, but he couldn't believe exactly what was going on. Have a look at his left hand. There's no holding. Look at that. His left hand. I'll tell you what, if he's holding there.
Oh, Wally, don't say it.
Actually, yeah, I'm not.
Put yourself into a corner, mate,
I'm
because...
not going to paint myself with that. Goodness me, after some of the ones, but one would suspect is probably the best way of saying that there wasn't any interference on that occasion.
This time it is a flag given by the video referee John Gosher. Richard Swain scores the try for the Melbourne Storm, who lead by 14 points to 8.
Boy, and I've got to say, you know, it's been a superb effort by the Manly boys or the Northern Eagle players the whole time. Lazo, their ruck defence has been pretty good. They've showed a fair bit of pride in their own line, and particularly they've had a lot of strength, particularly when it's been close to their own line. That occasion there, it just didn't seem like there was any communication whatsoever.
No, and I think that's why Big Hopper complained a bit. I think he was a bit bewildered by the ease of which Richard Swain went over for the try, but both sides guilty of giving away penalties, allowing their opposition to get into their own half and put some pressure on them. And great run there by Willie Lation, and Richard Swain capitalised on that by going over for a very, very soft try.
Matt Orford's attempted conversion, swinging back in and over. He didn't striker to get on that well, and he shakes his head as he walks back, knowing it wasn't the best of kicks, but it's not how you do it, it's just the end result, and that's 2 points.
Well, I've got to agree with you. I've thought to myself, geez, he hasn't struck it all that. We've got to start asking, is he not striking them all that well, or is it the strength of the breeze that's holding it back? We've had 3 or 4 clearing kicks from the Melbourne Storm that have only picked up around about 30 or 35 metres, which should be picking up around about 50. Well, it's a little bit strange to see these being limited, particularly on a game.
Let's check just what that breeze is like at ground level, Andy.
Well, Macca, I was just thinking as you and Wally were debating the breeze, it is very, very strange. It started off firmly in the favour of the Melbourne Storm, and it is really circling and swirling from end to end and across the field. There's not a lot right at the moment to speak of, but it is very deceiving.
I just wonder whether the kickers are purposely trying to keep the ball fairly low so as not to let it get high and let the breeze hit it and take it to anywhere if the breeze is swirling around, as Andy just described.
Well, John, from experience, that's what I would probably do too in this situation with this much wind blowing around.
You wouldn't know how to kick it, Malmazo. Can do a lot of things in football, but goal kicking is not one of them. 16-8 it is in favour of Melbourne. Here's Watmough.
Melbourne have done a pretty good job on Watmough, we saw last week. Every time he ran the football, the Northern Eagles were able to capitalise on that and make some good yards or even scored tries at times, but the Melbourne Storm have obviously spoken about Hopper in their game plan and are doing a wonderful job with him in defence.
Here is Kafusi. Final tackle now coming up for the Eagles. Luke Dawn. This time puts it high in the air. Look at the breeze, hold on to that and just push it back. Junior Lange gets underneath it and takes it. It is caught by Nick Kosef. Geyer. Matt Geyer on his own 20. Relation plays it. Swain just turning his pass back on the inside.
Stand square, Marcus, stand square, Jamie.
Running it across field again, just dropping that pass off. This time for Reynolds, and he couldn't take it. Ball lost, knocked off.
A little bit of trouble looking straight into the sun on that occasion. Lost sight of the ball. Lost control of it as well. Golden opportunity for the Northern Eagles. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this first half. The chance now.
Well, they don't do themselves any favour, the Melbourne Storm. They play the way they play up the other end of football. And I guess at some stage they're going to have to get sick and tired of defending their own line all the time, because that's exactly what they're doing by playing this fancy footy, and they should be just trying to get out of their own end and put some pressure back on the opposition.
This is Kafusi, and he's 21 metres out. Plays the ball back to Jamie Goddard. Elects to go from dummy half and switch it back to Kosef, who unloads for Steve Menzies. Menzies again goes to the line, now tries to bust his way through. 8 metres out is where it's played to Hopper. Gives his pass back into Kosef. Kosef was very close to the line, pushed back in the tackle of Lange. Played and spun out to the left-hand side to Dawn, who floats his pass. McDougall coming back in field, one-handed pass to Reeves. Brendan Reeves unloads to Hopper. Still did well, Hopper, to get the pass back. Unfortunately for him, it went into the clutches of Richard Swain, and it's a Melbourne ball, 8 from their own line. Marcus by.
Let him go away, it was all the way. Hold.
Matt Geyer.
Come through, let him up, Luke Williamson, hands off.
So the wingers doing just a little bit of the forwards' work to give them a breather. Kirk Reynolds.
Stand square, Marcus, stand square. Stand square, Marcus.
Orford.
Just jinx.
That's up it, and then runs into trouble and loses the ball as well.
And it wasn't smart play from Matt Orford before he dropped the ball either, John. That was the 5th tackle, and he went to ground. He is the best kicker in the Melbourne Storm team. He should have made himself available to clear that one. Both teams probably would have had the ball for another 2 sets of 6 times. 2 sets of 6 tackles prior to the Hooter at half-time.
And you go,
He
hold it,
took
you go,
the ball
Steve.
to the ground. That's not good thinking.
Into the scrum by Luke Dawn, brings it around to the open side and gives it on to Watmough, who unloads back to Reeves. He gives his pass, then on to Dawn. Oh, it's a long pass to nobody. It went over the head of McDougall, went over the head of Miles, and a bloke in the first row of the crowd caught it. That is a shocking pass, and he knows it, the young bloke.
Yeah, I don't know who he was trying to. He was obviously trying to pass the ball of the winger there, but it's miscued a little bit. But these both sides are showing no respect whatsoever for this football.
Sideline, Andy Raymond.
Yeah, maybe Melbourne coach Mark Murray isn't looking at the clock as we are. Peter
All the way,
Robinson has just been replaced. Danny Williams back onto the field. There's only 3 minutes or under 3 minutes left in the half. Really is a wasted substitution. On the other hand, Nick Kosef, a guy who's had many knee reconstructions for the Northern Eagles, getting a lot of game time. He's playing good football too, Kosef.
Let him up now, let him up. Come, Eagles.
Melbourne playing it. It was Michael Russo who played the ball. Now back to Reynolds. Reynolds tries to attack them down the short right-hand side. He's tackled 31 metres out. Richard Swain also goes up the line. Just inside the 20 where Menzies made the tackle on him. Orford. Then away to Scott Hill. Hill kicks. Rolling it into the in goal. The breeze behind it takes it.
No, it wasn't. Wait on Jamie, wait on Jamie. Wait on Jamie, wait on.
For the restart.
Okay, now.
Tap by Goddard and given on to Nathan Long.
Top one. You're up, Storm.
Miles from dummy half.
Hill 2, let him go now, let him up, Scott Hill, hands off.
Kosef.
Hill 3.
Almost up to halfway, Nick Kosef on the third tackle. Hopperwati.
Well on.
Torrance.
Come forward and go now, let him go.
Goddard comes down the blind side, has Shipway with him. The last coming up from Goddard, away to Dawn. Runs it to the 20, then puts the kick. Up they go forward. Ball loose, it'll be Melbourne ball. Picked up by Matt Geyer, and he brings it to 11 metres out from his own line. Should use up this set of 6 to take them to half-time with a comfortable 8-point lead. Aaron Mill plays the ball for Melbourne. Langy.
It's on through, let him up now, Nathan Long, hands off. Hold, fellas, hold. Oh, Melton.
Walking up, going away.
Orford. Then away to Hill. Really didn't have to be thrown. It's probably not going to make any difference because the half-time hooter will go before play can continue. In fact, there is the hooter. Half-time here at Brookvale Oval, and the Melbourne Storm lead the Sea Eagles by 16 points to 8. Melbourne will be pleased with their performance, even though both coaches will have plenty to talk about it at half-time, with mistakes aplenty, but still a comfortable lead by the Storm as they go into to the sheds at half-time at Brookvale Oval on Super Saturday. It's the Melbourne Storm leading the Northern Eagles by 16 points to 8. Didn't take long for the first points to be on the board in this match. In fact, only the second minute of the game when Robbie Ross backed up on the inside of Scott Hill to score for the Storm.
Yeah, and I thought it was a smart play. He targeted Steve Menzies' weary origin legs, and it was a very good right foot step, wasn't it, that opened some good spaces there, and no surprise to see who was going to be there in support, the best in the business.
Yes, he is. Robbie Ross, unfortunately, during the first half, suffered a calf muscle injury, which has ruled him out of the rest of this game. It was a setback certainly for the Eagles because Melbourne had scored before they'd even touched the ball, but when they did get possession, it didn't take them long to get a try on.
No, did it very well too. I thought it was a pretty ordinary defensive effort there close to the line, but Nathan Long, he did very well, very determined effort to be able to get across the line there, put the Eagles back on the board, and from that moment forward it really looked like they were going to take off, and it was going to be their afternoon.
The next try also went the way of the Eagles, which got them in the lead for the first time in the game. It came in just the 14th minute.
And once again, they shifted the ball to the left-hand side. Some smart play once again. A long ball opened some opportunities for them. Good defensive effort out wide, but it was also an even better one to be able to plant the ball down long. It just showed just how keen they were to be able to get some points. Their attack was pretty good, but I thought both teams' defence at that stage was pretty ordinary.
It was a long-range try by the Melbourne Storm that was next. It was started with a terrific run, a pass from Peter Robinson to put Aaron Moole in the clear.
Yeah, and he did it very well, didn't he? It was a very well-controlled chip kick that also had Mark Murray, I think, holding his breath for a little while. He also regathered it, though, to reassure the Melbourne supporters. From that stage, though, it was really a case of shifting the ball to the right-hand side. I don't think that the Sea Eagles or the Northern Eagles fans knew exactly what was going to be able to happen here. Their defence was trying to repair as the ball was shifted wide. They were no chance. There were simply too many attacking players in support.
The Eagles coach, Peter Sharp, wouldn't have been happy about the next try, which was scored by Melbourne, because this was a very, very soft try. They were up close to the line, and Richard Swain just able to go out to the blind side. The defence was pretty much non-existent. Look at this, simply straight through. Albert Torrens claimed he was held back, but a very easy try by Richard Swain.
And I think they may spend a fair bit of time in front of the video this week talking about that one. Gee, we're talking about how great defence is in games of rugby league this year. That certainly wasn't an exhibition of it at all, was it?
Wally, the most controversial moment of the first half, it came in the 28th minute, having had a week of controversy with the Darren Lockyer no try in State of Origin on Wednesday night. This we thought was a certain try to Steve Menzies. Video referee John Gosher said no.
Yeah, well, probably he's the only one that will be able to explain exactly what was going on here. I probably thought it was a try. Lazo certainly did. He was a little bit upset by the indecision. I know that you probably thought it was a try as well. It was a surprise decision, certainly to the Brookvale crowd here, but one that really astounded us. I must say, though, that I thought it really was a try. The video replay judge, well, he's the guy that made the decision, and he's the only one that counts, I suppose.
Yeah, I thought it was a try for sure, however, disallowed. So at half-time, the Melbourne Storm lead the Northern Eagles by 16 points to 8, 3 tries to 2. Ross Lange and Swain scoring the Melbourne Storm's tries and 2 goals to Matt Orford, while for the Eagles, Long and Miles, their try scorers, they haven't as yet landed a goal, but then again, they were running into this very strong wind in the first half. So half-time, it's the Melbourne Storm leading the Eagles by 16 points to 8. We'll be back to Brookvale for the second half after this break. Welcome back to Brookvale Oval, and this young man, Aaron Canning's making his debut, and this was his first touch of the football in first grade, and this is how close he came to scoring a try. Only a matter of a metre out from the line. He could have almost kept going himself and scored. Decided to give a pass intended for Albert Torrens, wasn't able to take it, and the chance went begging.
Well, there's the forwards, or the work rate, and well, they've all been required to do plenty of tackling. The hit-ups, well, they're not as high as what they should be because of the unbelievably bad discipline these two sides are showing with the football in their hands. No respect whatsoever for the footy, and one guy that's not up there, and I have to give him a mention, is John Opawati. He's only done 3 tackles, but he's done a lot with the ball with 11 hit-ups, and he's just carrying on from where he left off last week. But again, the discipline with the football in their hands is absolutely atrocious.
I'm sure, Lazo, that's exactly what their coach Peter Sharp will be drilling into the Northern Eagles at the moment. He'd be trying to tell the players, when you cart the ball out in the football field in our own territory, there's going to be a breeze that's pushing the seas out there on the other side of Manly along. Whilst we're playing with that behind us, just make sure that we're carting the ball to a particular area of the field. There's no need to take any risks in our own area of the football field, down in our own territory. Simply cart the ball up and use our kicking game. Sure, play our attacking game at the other end of the field.
That's exactly right, Wally, and I think Northern Eagles more so than the Storm. The Northern Eagles will come out in the second half and have a wonderful breeze in their back. They get to the 40, the 50-metre line, put a kick in, and make the Melbourne Storm come out from 10, 20 metres off their own try line all game. Melbourne Storm have shown over recent years that they aren't a very patient side, and they will make errors deep within their own territory and give the Northern Eagles plenty of opportunities to score tries.
This is very strong southerly wind, whipping up big seas off the peninsula. Will make it interesting for our next game on Super Saturday. which kicks off at 5:30 down at Wynn Stadium, when St George Illawarra are at home to the North Queensland Cowboys. And of course, Wynn Stadium was built dead set right on the water. You jump over the fence at Wynn Stadium and you're on the beach. With some great shots coming from there. And of course, the Red Super Saturday this evening at 7:30 at Aussie Stadium. The Newcastle Knights travel down to take on the Sydney Rabbitohs. Steve Menzies denied what we all thought was a fair try. John Gosher ruling that he knocked the ball on instead of grounding it. Scott Hill
wouldn't be happy, John. 3 times he's put the ball while he's thrown bad passes which have gone to ground, which have resulted in turnovers. He wouldn't be very happy with that, and I'm sure he'll come out here in the second half and try and turn that around.
His partner in crime, who he set up for the first try in just 2 minutes into the game, Robbie Ross, unfortunately
on the kicker.
out of the game with a calf injury. So more responsibility put onto the shoulders of Scott Hill. Terrific take to start by Brendan Reeves. That was a very, very difficult ball to take. Held up against the wind, had to rush forward and take it. Very, very good skills as Hopewadi plays the ball. Mel Kafusi able to unload it, went back to Goddard and then to Dawn, trying to
Come through, let him up now, let him up.
just work his way through the middle of the ruck. Kosef. Now on to McDougall, starting to clap on the speed. Then McDougall has got through, gives the pass, then to Miles. He's confronted by Leggy inside, it goes to Menzies. Menzies will score. No doubt this time, Steve Menzies scores the try. But excellent work by Phil McDougall to make the initial break, and Menzies on the end scores.
Great support play from Menzies. Continues to add to his try-scoring tally with some pretty ordinary defence on the inside of the Melbourne Storm. Scotty Hill was the man that hung off for a couple of seconds. That was the thing that really caused some problems in the end. 2 or 3 on 1 in the end just made life very difficult at the back. You just see that's where the problem started, Lazo.
Yeah, it certainly was, but I just got to give a rap to Brendan Reeves. That take he took from the kick-off was not only very brave, but very skillful. And the thing that surprised me most of all was the fact that there was just no cover for the Melbourne Storm. Once the Northern Eagles player got through the first line of defence, there was no one there to try and tackle the player that was cutting the football, all the supporting players. You can't deny this guy. He was denied a try in the first half, but he certainly made up for it in the second.
And 128 career tries, the second most by a forward, but it takes him to 12th overall in the try-scoring list. He was level coming into the day with the great Reg Gasnier. Puff the Magic Dragon. They had 127 apiece. Menzies now moves to 128. Luke Williamson. This kick coming back in. It's there. Williamson. The Storm in front, but now only by 2, which gives some worries to the Melbourne Storm coach, Mark Murray. His team in front now by 16 to 14. The restart once more. Kicking it down into that corner with the breeze and the sun makes it a difficult task, but they've done it well, the Eagles, as Nathan Long plays the ball. Hopewadi trying to smash his way back up through the middle. He's only 11 metres short of halfway on the second tackle. Kosef again wide to McDougall, trying to repeat what they did just a minute or so ago. This time the tackle is made on him by Sibbott.
And Sibbott's playing right centre on this occasion. Of course, the break that was made had Hill playing in the right centre position. They didn't have a right centre.
Kafusi to play. Pass coming up now for the Eagles. 30 metres out from the Melbourne line. Kosef on the short side, kicks ahead for McDougall to chase. Langy drops back for it. Langy takes it and is tackled just out from his own line. Let's see what the coach has said at half-time. Here's Andy Raymond.
I've just spoken to Northern Eagles 14th man Desi Hasler. Peter Sharp spoke of intensity and one-on-one defence. Not going as badly as the scoreline suggests, and ball control is the key for the Melbourne Storm. To maintain your structured game plan, don't deviate from that and work sensibly. With the injury to Robbie Ross, they're down to 16 and he stressed more is required from every player.
Thanks, Andy, with that half-time report, and here's a mistake. Ball put to the ground by Michael Russo. Great chance now for the Eagles. 28 metres out is where the ball is played to Watmough. He runs it back towards the right side. Now pushes his way through the middle of the ruck. There's Hopper. It takes 3 to take him to ground. Quickly played. Dawn goes back out to the right-hand side. Gives his pass on to Brendan Reeves.
Hands off now.
Plays the ball to Miles. Then it goes to Dawn. Switch of play to Kosef. Now to Goddard. This is Dawn. Look, Dawn! He's almost over. Good tackle made by Reynolds and a try saver. Plays it to Reeves. Unloads to Goddard. Jinks goes to the right, then back to the left, and eventually is tackled by Scott Hill. Reeves distributes. Dawn tries to roll it into the end goal, but Matt Geyer comes up with it and gets it back into the field of play. Well, the kick was probably okay, but there were no chases on the end of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether it was the right decision to make. I thought that, there's a high tackle, I thought they had an opportunity to run the ball to the right-hand side. You're right, John, in saying that they didn't appear to be much. He didn't have a lot of support, and the chasing team gave him a lot of options to work with. However, now Melbourne get the opportunity to work away from their own line. I'm sure Coach Mark Murray will be looking for a little bit of a different end result than the last one.
Danny Williams plays it, and this is the last tackle, and they're still just on their own 20, and they try to run it on the last. Quick hands, given wide to Simmons. Infield it goes to Marcus By, then thrown to ground is Michael Russo. That's a changeover. Quickly played by the Eagles. They sense that they've got a terrific chance to attack here as Robert Miles goes across field and then picked up Luke Dawn. They're on the 30. Played back to Torrance. Nick Kosef driven back in a very good tackle by Danny Williams. He felt that too, Nick Kosef, as he gets to his feet. Dawn switches his pass. Ball to be pushed back by Shipway. It was touched by Melbourne, so the tackle count will restart. 6 tackles to go. Now it comes away to Williamson. Williamson is held on to. McDougall up the short side. Crunched around by Simmons. Williamson a dummy half on to Kafusi. Now Kafusi loses the ball. It's a Melbourne ball this time. Played back by Richard Swain. Now to Junior Lange.
Wrong one, hands off now, hands off.
Played to Swain. Now to Marcus By. By gets to his own 20. Williams trying to go over the top of Melbourne Torrance. Orford. Now Kearney. Orford once more. Runs to the line, but Williamson grabs him, so too was Kafusi.
And once again, he's been caught on the 5th tackle.
Now Scott Hill. His kick. Dropping back forward is Brendan Reeves. Runs it back, but runs into trouble. Kearney and Williams are there to combine to make a crunching tackle on the Eagles fullback. Torrance.
Let him go, Stephen Kearney, hands off.
Reeves out of dummy half.
Throw that him up now all the way, Storm, come on. Here we go, fellas.
Hopawade.
Held 3. That's 3 or 4, John.
15 from halfway. He plays it on the 3rd. Nathan Long makes 10 metres straight ahead. Here's the last now for the Eagles. Goddard gives it back to Luke Dawn. Dawn's kick straight into the clutches of Junior Lange, playing at fullback in the absence of Robbie Ross. Geyer put to ground by Torrance on his own 30. Lange makes 10 metres.
Hands off all the way, Eagles, come on, hands off.
Right on the halfway mark is where the Storm centre plays the ball. Swain distributes for Robbie Kearns. Swain again. Now to Orford. Unloads his pass to Hill. Scott Hill in traffic. Came out the other side as well. Rolls the pass for Lange to pick up. Now the last for Melbourne. From Swain, back it goes to Orford. Scott Hill's down with cramp in back play as this kick goes high and will be taken around by Melbourne Giants. On their own 10-metre mark, here's Hopawade.
Let him go now, let him go. You're in Phil's hole now. Hole Storm.
Ball played back to Goddard.
Come through it. All the way, Storm, all the way.
Almost out to his own 30. Now Kosef.
L4. He held it. Here I am, fellas, here I am.
Dawn.
L5 and last, no penalties now.
Played back by Danny Lima. One-handed pick-up by Menzies. Kicked ahead by Viva. Menzies trying to go near touch, it won't. Langie's able to pick it up. Junior Langie starts to run it back. As he does so, let's take a report on the condition of Robbie Ross. He's on the sideline with Andy Rain.
Langie playing fullback at the moment, but this guy would love to be out there. Robbie Ross is spraying calf.
Yeah, and he just tore the calf a little bit, mate. Nothing serious, but it's enough to keep me out playing, yeah.
Frustrating here. This is his 7th game out of 16.
Yeah, it has been, mate. It was a tough start of the year, missing so many games, but mate, the body feels good other than the calf, so I think it's only kept me out for too long.
Up against it, a fabulous try to Stephen Menzies in the early minutes of the second half, running into a stiff breeze.
Yeah, the boys are a little bit lacklustre at the start. I thought they were a little bit flat, but looks like they're starting to get a bit more involved, and I think we can just put a few sets together and be right.
Thanks, mate.
Robbie Ross there with Andy Rain as this ball is lost.
I tell you what, Macca, there's a very good thing here. Just have a look at his right foot here. He knows that he's lost the ball. Just have a look at this. He just tries to kick it, which knocks the ball out of the grip right at the end of Brendan Reeves. That smart play, or probably thought that he might have got rap over the knuckles from his coach Mark Murray at full time.
In you go, Locks, in you go. In you go, Locks.
Took the ball through, so
Locks
it's given them another chance. 20 metres out now. This is probably the only opportunity they've had to post points close to the line in the second stanza.
Scott Hill to the line he goes, and then tried to just drop the pass off to Ian Simmons. He really had no hope of taking that, and that is just an absolute wasted opportunity.
Very much so. And as we keep saying, you only get a limited amount. I don't think Ian Simmons here watching that really knew what was going on. There was obviously no communication there. Scotty Hill wanted Ian Simmons to come back in on the inside. He didn't do it. He had the ball given to him under pressure again, John, and unfortunately went to ground. An opportunity wasted.
Well, he's probably so used to working that boy with Robbie Ross and knew what was on. Maybe Ian Simmons didn't. Brendan Reeves, the Eagles fullback is on his own 30. Melbourne leading by 16-14 here at Brookvale. It's Nathan Long. Straight ahead goes the blonde-headed front rower. Now to Dawn. On to Lima.
All the way, Storm. Come back and hold, fellas. Come on.
Chad Randall is on for the Eagles, wearing jersey 16. He runs in to be the dummy half at the moment, the son of the great Terry Randall. From Shipway, that pass was forward. It came back on the inside and got the ball and run away and scored. Referee checks for the touchdown because it gets the try, but there had to be a forward pass from there. Well, they had one try we thought was a fair one disallowed. This is one that's given that we think should have been held back.
John, Wally, honestly, what are the linesmen looking at when this game of rugby league is being played? Surely, someone there, either of the linesmen or the referee would have seen that was a blatant forward pass, and now Melbourne find themselves behind the scoreboard.
Oh, that's a metre forward.
Not only should have that not been a try, that should have been a penalty to Melbourne for a pass thrown to a player offside.
Offside. I don't understand how the referee hasn't picked that up. I guess the Melbourne players that were protesting about it. Goodness. Anyway.
I guess the week we've had as far as decisions on the tries have been, yeah.
Look, that pass given by Shipway to Randall. Randall standing well in front of him. Not only a forward pass, but the player was offside.
Well, it all started on Wednesday night. We saw another one last night. We're seeing it again here today. It's very inconsistent rulings as far as tries being awarded or not being awarded. And I think, as the public, we deserve better.
Luke Williamson converts. The Eagles are back in front. As we said, they had a try disallowed in the first half to Steve Bensley's that we thought was a fair try, but that one given to them, which no doubt came off a blatant.
Well, there was a referee that copped an absolute grilling off a Roosters coach last week
He kicks it.
that gained the NRL 10,000. He's out here today. The NRL may be about to gain another $10,000.
The Eagles in front by 20 to 16.
Come on, hold now, hold.
Long plays it on his own 20. Lima.
Let him up all the way, Storm. Hold now, hold.
Menzies.
On 3, let him go. Scott Hill, hands off.
Randall a dummy half. Infield goes Ben McDougall. One-handed pass on the bounce to Kosef.
On 4, let him up now, let him up. Here I am, Storm, come behind me, come on. Now hold now. 4.
Hopewade at acting half for the Eagles. Back to Dawn. Kicks. Wind driving this down into the in goal. And it will keep going. Will it? No, it sits up perfectly. What a world-class kick that was. And Junior Lady is pinned in the in goal. Randall coming over the top with Williamson to hold him. That was an absolutely perfect kick by Dawn. With the wind behind him, it seems certain that he would go over the dead ball line. And Junior Lady thought so as well. And then a terrific chase to pin him in goal.
Yeah, and he's just not an experienced fullback, is he? You could just see that fullback was still moving around. All he had to do was put one foot over the dead ball line, make contact with it.
There's been a couple of things at the back of the Melbourne Storm defensive line that you just know that Robbie Ross would have covered up. He wanted to move the Brookvale job. Luke Dawn knows every blade of grass at this over, even though he's only played here 4 times. That was an amazing kick. I actually thought he kicked too hard, but to his credit, he obviously knew what he was doing.
Let him up now, let him up.
They're 25 metres out from scoring, the Eagles. Hopewade fires it away to Dawn. In behind the line, Williamson, they put it over to McDougall, and it goes to Martin. He can't finish a try, but this time he claims the try. The referee will go and check with John Gosher. The corner post has been taken. Did he get it down correctly? The video referee will decide.
Gee, he did a great job. I think he's got it down in the corner just before collecting. But let's not say we think he did at all. Our predictions haven't done too well at all this afternoon. He did enormously well, carted the ball in the left hand, used the right as a fend. Got away from the defender quite well, used it to plant the ball just inside the line. I think he's got it down perfectly.
Just a wonderful finish. We spoke about the try he scored earlier, Robert Miles. He is one of the best finishers in the NRL, and this is absolutely fantastic wing play. It's power, it's skill, and Marcus Bai is a strong man. He's got underneath the Marcus Bai tackle, puts the ball down. That is a superb finishing try by an informed winger in Robert Miles. Scored a double last week in the win over Penrith. That's a double today. He's congratulated by his teammates, and well they should congratulate him. Try. Well done, Robert Miles. That is just superb rugby league skill.
Yeah, it sure is. Take a bow. He's done it on a couple of occasions today. They did very well. Shifted the ball wide. Dawn got it well. There was some very good work done by the inside runners that took the pressure off them. Melbourne just didn't have the players in the end, Lazo, to be able to get across their right field defence once again, not being able to cover it. Civic, I'm just not sure how experienced he is at being a right centre. He's been out of position on a number of occasions. Glenn, what I've got to say is 1/4 pass about 5 minutes ago has been enormously expensive now for Melbourne. It could have cost them 12 points. It certainly cost them the lead. It could well have cost them the game.
Yeah, I think it also cost them their spirit. Wally, I thought Melbourne Storm looked a different side after that try had been scored. Their heads were hanging down, but just on that try, I think Melbourne Storm had enough players there to cover the winger, Robert Miles. wingers aren't asked to do much in games of rugby league, John. One thing they are asked to do is finish off movements, and he is nearly the best in the business. He is one of the best finishers in the games. Hats off to Watmough.
Here's the kick by Luke Williamson. He runs it over. Wonderful kick by Luke Williamson. And 26-16 the Eagles lead. And what a change has come over this game at Brookie.
Northern Eagles have just got up over the Penrith Panthers as we see Luke Williamson kicking a goal. And Canberra fans, well, they'd be used to seeing that. He's a wonderful goal kicker. But last week he scored 2 tries and they just beat Penrith, and I thought that he was probably the difference, and he's showing that he's a difference here today as well. Some wonderful finishing and some pretty good movements too by the Northern Eagles.
Good run by Watmough. They're in front by 10. They haven't won back-to-back games this year, the Eagles, but they have their chance today. Leading by 26-16, but still 21 and a half minutes remaining. Nathan Long. Long reaches halfway. Scrambles to his feet to play the ball to Randall. Now it goes to Kosef. Wide to Menzies. Trying to catch the Melbourne right-hand side defence again. This time Sibbett does make the tackle. From Kosef. Dawn. Puts the ball high. It's gone behind Langy. Lets it bounce. He's in the in-goal. This time he gets back into the field of play, Junior Langy. And a guided tackle by Mark Wade is able to grass him 10 metres out. Langy gets to his 20. Marcus by. Sway runs and turns it back on the inside. The Sibbett who's tackled. Kearns. Peter Robinson. He's 10 metres from halfway. Last tackle now coming up for the Storm. Orford kicks towards Hopawade, who takes it on the full. Now starts the wind up. Hopawade will be put to ground 5 metres short of halfway to the sideline. Andy Raymond.
2 tries in the space of just 4 minutes for the Northern Eagles. And if you wind the clock back, John, 3 or 4 weeks, Robbie Kearns was sacked in a sensation at the Melbourne Storm for Rodney Howe, who's not there today. Stephen Kearney's the captain, the man they're looking to for inspiration, and more importantly, the man the Storm two are looking for words and leadership out in the field is Robbie Kearns.
Nathan Long just taking a hard hit there from Stephen Kearney as Dawn gives it back to Torrens. Thought about throwing his pass. Will play it to Reeves, a few metres inside Melbourne territory. Nick Kosef gives it back to Shipley. Over to Chad Randall. He's 21 metres out, Randall. They're playing now with confidence, the Eagles. The final tackle is coming up. Reeves a dummy half. Called for by Dawn. Kicks over the top for Menzies to chase. Ball's gone loose. It'll be picked up there by Lever. The tackle count restarts. He may not have known it, Danny Lever. Luckily for them, it didn't go into touch, and Robert Miles keeps it alive to Dawn. Dawn fires a long pass over the top to Shipley. Inside it comes to Melbourne Torrens. He allows for Hopawade. He's the hero of Brookvale Oval these days, Hopawade. He's in great form and scores the try that you would think would give this game to the Eagles. John Hopawade, the try scorer for the Eagles, gives them a lead of 30-16 with a kick to count.
Yeah, the ball went up in the end. You've got to question just how much competitiveness was on the ball itself. There didn't appear to be too many of the Melbourne players interested in collecting the ball. But from here, well, it was Rafferty's rules. After Miles collected the ball, shifted it out wide, the attack continued, Dawn threw it out, and you could just see the Melbourne defence. It was just scrambling, doing its best to try and keep up. Fortunately, they were no chance for matching the Eagles.
Now, when they put that kick across, it was good work by Stephen Menzies to actually hit that ball back so the Eagles get the football again. But the thing that I guess concerned me a little bit about the Melbourne Storm there, their line of defence was all over the shop there. We've seen in recent movements by the Storm, the Northern Eagles staying as one line, no one coming out of the line. The Melbourne Storm's line was all over the shop. It was just a matter of catching and passing and drawing the players, and in the end they just had too many numbers. And a great try, a great exhibition of skill, I do believe, from the Northern Eagles, and Big Hopper, a well-deserved try.
Cheer goes up around the ground. It's not Northern Eagles, it is Man Lee. Manly.
What do we call them these days, John?
Well, the licence is owned by the Manly club, who say they own the Northern Eagles, so it's Manly as far as they're concerned. No goal by Williams. 30-16. Yes, it's interesting. The licence for the Northern Eagles has reverted back to the Manly club after the amalgamation between Manly and North Sydney the divorce was put in place.
Right, no starts,
and
fellas.
the Manly club say we own the name Northern Eagles, so we can say what we want to be called, and we want to be called the Manly Sea Eagles, and in fact all of their publications say nothing but Manly Sea Eagles, so that's what they want to be, Manly, and that's what the crowd want them to be as Lima plays the ball. Hopaway.
Stand over the John, stand over the John. Oh, there's Storm.
Just getting a roll on the Eagles.
Long three, Matty off and roll away.
Melbourne haven't had that much of the ball over the last 10 minutes. It's been all the Eagles. As Mark Shipway,
It's on four, Stephen
former
Carney out
North
there, mate. Come
Queensland
on,
Cowboy,
quick.
who's been playing very well for the Eagles this year. Now away to Dawn. Turn back inside to Danny Lima. A hard man to stop. Plenty of him. Takes Robbie Kearns, the opposite number 8, to bring him to ground. Luke Dawn. Matt Guy.
Let him up now.
Tackle just 25 metres out from his own line, Guy. Junior Lange runs it a few metres himself.
On turn, Nick Gossett. Stand off now.
Very
Stand
important
square,
this
Marcus, stand
game
square.
in the context of the Telstra Premiership, given that they were running 9 and 10.
Let him up.
The loser knows. Keep in touch with the 8. It's going to now be a tough task. Here's Peter Robinson.
Oh, he's off now. Let him up with Dawn.
On halfway, he plays it to Richards Way. Robbie Kearns.
Stand over it. Stand over it, Robbie.
Crawford. Now Scott Hill. Fires it once. Quickly kept alive. Towed ahead by Melbourne. Brendan Reeves. Plays it 10 out from his own line. Now Robert Myers, having scored 2 tries and was almost alive. Desperation tackle by Steve Kearney, got hold of him. Now Watmough using his bolt this time.
Storm all the way, come on. Stand square, Marga, come on.
One thing about Hopawade, he's been playing well, but after all of the controversy he's had,
Go forward,
he really looks to be
Richards Way, roll
enjoying
away.
his football this year. He wants to get in, he wants to be involved, he wants to have the ball in his hand.
Well, he's let
Oh, good pass, mate. They got it around the corner.
Play on, play on, play on.
He's letting his football do the talking, John. He's playing one off the footy, and that's all people are talking about when they talk about John Hopawade, is how good he is actually playing.
This kick going down to Matt Geyer. Fed inside to Lange, playing at fullback in the absence of Robbie Ross. Matt Geyer again. One-handed pass, Aaron Moore. Got it. He's had one. It's gone around the world before he eventually got it, but he didn't drop it. Aaron Moore. Geyer plays it once more. Back to Moore. Orford. On halfway, plays it to Richards Way. Then, passing Robinson, and Robinson had overrun him. Probably could have given the pass because...
Yeah, would have let go.
Yeah, should have been let go, judging by that pass. Well, here's a mistake by Melbourne. And that's been the story of the day for them. I know that that try that the Eagles scored probably was the turning point of the game on the forward pass. But having said that, Melbourne have just made a rod for their own backs.
They certainly have, and they'd be very disappointed too, John, because I think they've looked into the future, and their next 4 weeks consist of the West Tigers at Olympic Park, the Roosters at Olympic Park, the Boy and the Penrith games. I'm sure they would have backed themselves to win, which would have given them a pretty good hop up the competition ladder, and I'm pretty sure they would have backed themselves to win this game. So they'd be disappointed for a lot of reasons, but that one in particular, I think, that just would have kick-started their next week of next block of games off, those 4 games.
Dawn, inside pass to Menzies. They've made some dramatic comebacks this year, Melbourne. Time is now running out for them. They're behind by 14, and there's 12 and a half minutes remaining. This kick again down into the corner, trying to isolate Matt Geyer. Gives it back to Aaron Moore. Moore with plenty of speed. Gets away Aaron Moore. He right-footed Steve Menzies. Now he's into the foot race. Menzies comes a second time and puts him over. Terrific work, Steve Menzies. He'd been beaten the first time, but no way in the world was he going to get up the chase. That was a great tackle by Menzies.
Now, he might have wrong-footed him, John, but he was never going to out-sprint him. Most backs wouldn't sprint Steve Menzies. He's certainly very quick.
Well, I'll tell you what, Aaron Moore's no slouch either. He is quick, Aaron Moore. That was great cover, Steve Menzies. A real cap was not. Richard Swain, now away to Warford. He's able to get his pass on to Simmons. They're up inside the 20. They need to score right now, Melbourne, in this set. Orford gives it away to Scott Hill. Hill pushes a pass out. Picks it up. Torrance starts to clap on the speed. He's chased by Junior Langy. That's been the story of the day for Melbourne.
Well, Mark Murray's... I mean, it sounds very harsh, but Mark Murray's got to get Scott Hill off the field. He's obviously exhausted still from his state of origin campaigns, struggling a little bit, and of course he was the one that came up with that mistake prior to Manly, the Northern Eagles, coming up with those 3 tries in a row. He's trying to invent things, he's trying a little bit too hard, and it's just not working for him. I think it'd be a good idea for the Storm to bring Matty Geyer in and play him at 5'8". He'd be a little bit more creative.
Mate, I think one of their major problems is that the Melbourne Storm play a lot of football off the cuff. There's no game plan, or there doesn't appear to be game plans at times. They don't really have working, they're not working for things, they're just playing football off the cuff, and at times players don't know what each other's doing.
Now, another mistake by Melbourne. Ball being lost. Let's take your sideline, Andy Raymond.
The other theory in leaving Scott Hill out there is perhaps, John, the fact Robbie Ross is sitting on the sideline. The Storm don't have a back on their bench. You've got 3 back rowers sitting here right in front of me.
Yeah, good point, Andy. There is the Melbourne bench. Robbie Ross on the end there, rugged up.
There we go.
Unable to take any further part in the game because of the calf injury. That's been a major blow to Melbourne. His positional play is so good, Robbie Ross.
Let him up now, let him up.
Junior Langy has been found out a few times playing in the unaccustomed position of fullback.
Well, we're just speaking about Scott Hill. The first try the Melbourne Storm scored. Scott Hill with a great right foot step offloading to Robbie Ross. They just know how each other plays, and when Robbie Ross goes off the field, the Melbourne Storm really do lose something.
Aaron Canning's playing the ball. Almost scored a try on debut, Aaron Cannings, and it's great to see him play. He was involved in a terrible accident last October. He fell from a balcony. Very lucky to have his life, Aaron Cannings, but on debut today. And that was another pass that surely that was
that has gone 1.5 meters for.
Almost in exactly the same position. This ball loose on the ground, up for it though. The Eagles, it's still loose, still loose on the ground. This is a knockdown.
Change over. Change over.
Is there a mirror or something in that position over there that the touch judge and referee can't see, because it was almost an identical spot to that forward pass that brought the game-breaking tries.
I must say again, John, are they actually watching while this game is being played?
Here's Marcus Bai, who runs straight at Will Williamson.
They're watching where the football is. Surely he would have seen that forward pass.
One-handed pick-up by Swade. Ball being played back by Ian Sibbett. Robbie Coons. Swain again. Away to Warford. Warford slips the tackle of Kafusi. Now kicks ahead. Brendan Reeves takes it. Warford in the chase loses his footing, which allows... Oh, the shorts as well. Oh, the shorts.
Well, it is getting dark here. I thought the moon had come up there for a minute.
Well, I thought the biggest cheer of the day.
Play, John. Play, John.
The biggest cheer of the day for Brendan Reeves, who's now got a bright shade of red.
L2, let him up, their hands off now, let him up.
Worse, I guess.
Depending who was supporting.
Yes. Luke Dawn.
L3, let him go now, let him go. All the way, Storm, come on, Storm. Come on, Storm.
32 metres out is where he plays the ball. Kafusi with another tough run.
L4, all the way, Storm, come on, Storm, all the way, come on.
Dawn. to Danny Lima.
Come on, Storm, behind me, come on.
Last tackle coming up for the Eagles. Got up. Dawn puts the kick back in field, hoping that Menzies can chase. Menzies gets a hand and puts it down. Well, he got a job at Ashton Circus. The juggler in the local circus. Steve Menzies scores the try. Good little kick by Luke Dawn, just a little reverse banana-style kick. Menzies knew what was on, got the hand up to it, juggled it, held it, and scores the try that puts this game well and truly beyond Melbourne's reach.
Yeah, very well placed from Dawn. Great chase from Menzies as well. I thought they made a mistake by letting the ball bounce, Lazo. But terrific work from Menzies, who's certainly out there today to make up for the disappointments of Wednesday.
Yeah, well, the love affair with Brookvale Oval is continuing. This will end up being a very good victory for the Northern Eagles. And I guess you're just asking for trouble, Wally and John, when you allow that ball to bounce in the in-goal. Very unpredictable, the football, and once it hits that ground, it could bounce anywhere. And as we saw there, Lengy just not able to get hold of it. Steve Menzies was, and he's gone in for his second try of the day.
Denied what we thought was a fair try in the first half, but he still has scored a double. The third Eagles player today to register a double. Menzies has scored 2, Hopawate has scored 2, and of course an excellent double, a great finishing double to their winger Robert Mines. 34-16, should in a moment become 36-16. Converted by Williamson. There is Peter Sharp, as though he's got the troubles of the world on his shoulders, but he should be feeling happy. He's back to home base at Brookvale Oval. The crowd are happy that Manly is back at Brookie, and they're in front by 36-16, where they love play.
I'm sure he'd be happy on the inside, John. This is a pretty good display from the Northern Eagles, particularly in the second half.
Come behind.
Knock backwards.
Play on.
Now picked up by Melbourne. Robinson loads his pass, which is going to be knocked down by the Eagles. Luke Williamson getting a hand to it.
Over he fills, over. Just keep yourself straight, Storm.
Luke Williamson coming through, getting a hand to that ball. So Melbourne will work this scrum, but it's all too late for them. Inside the last 5 minutes. Fed to the scrum by Orford.
Come on. Keep the locks in. Keep the locks in. Keep the locks in. Stay there, Eagles. Stay there, Eagles. Well done, Danny. Put your arm over him, Danny. Go down.
Last night. And the referee last night, Paul Simpkins, let it go, and Parramatta eventually won a scrum against the feet and scored. This time, Sean Hampstead blows it up very early. Junior Lange inside for Marcus Pye.
Come on, let him up now, let him up. Luke Williamson, hands off.
He's 8 metres out from the line where he plays the ball to Sibbett. Davies trying to push his way. Swain's pass for Orford cutting his way through.
Hands off now, let him up. Brendan Reeves.
Pass, which is going to be given away, and they'll score a try, a consolation try by Peter Robinson. Willie Lation able to give that pass, but it's come all too late for them. Peter Robinson scores a late try, makes it 36-20.
That was a bullet from Lation, and I guess you can't blame the Northern Eagles defence. They probably thought the power that was behind the ball, it was certainly going to carry all the way out to the winger. Gee, stopped it very well, carted it around. Then again, there's going to be a little bit less pressure on the defence at this stage of the game too, Glenn.
Yeah, they know they've won the football game, and I think that pass is just basically, I'll throw it as hard as I can, as flat as I can, and hopefully someone will run onto it and score a try. And in the end, Peter Robinson has scored a try, and he's had a pretty good game today. You know, a side that's been well beaten. He's tried his heart out all day and has been rewarded with a 4-pointer.
Conversion of the Robinson try, successful by Matt Orford, 36-22.
Steve Menzies was the man that came up out of the line, I think, on that occasion. May have had a little bit of a peep at an intercept there. Slight thoughts of being able to run 100 metres certainly would have been a nice way for him to finish the afternoon here at Brookvale.
Rather despondent Melbourne bench. Robbie Ross in the foreground there, knowing that this is a game they had a chance to win and an important game that's gone away from them. Luke Williamson restarts. Certainly, try scorer Peter Robinson, who is tackled this time, put to ground heavily in the tackle. Anthony Watmough there in 18.
That's nonsense. Wait.
Only just coming out of the field, Anthony Watmough on his first grade debut, but only a youngster, only 18 years of age, and re-signed yesterday by Manly. There were a lot of clubs that wanted his signature. He's a very promising young player.
Let him go.
And I know Manly have a terrific opinion of him and believe he's going to be one of their stars of the future. Break being made by Ian Sibbott. Here comes Reeves across to try and get Sibbott. Steps back in field and Reeves in cover defence cleans him up. Plays the ball to Marcus Bai. Now they're going to finish with a little bit of a rush, Melbourne, but this ball has gone loose. This is Kafusi, and Kafusi gets outside the 20. He's still going, Kafusi. He reaches the 30.
Scott Hill, hands off. Otherwise, not.
Lathan Long.
Let him up now, let him up. Otherwise, not.
Plays the ball back to Jamie Goddard. That was a good pass by Watmough. Got it away to Torrens.
Let him go.
Torrens will be held on to 20 metres out and plays the ball to Menzies. Now it goes away to Jamie Goddard. Then it goes on to Dawn. A pass which is loose, picked up by Goddard. Now to Brendan Reeves coming in from fullback. That ball has been knocked back by Marcus Bai. He'll go over the dead ball.
Go on, drop out.
I thought if Brendan Reeves had hung on to that ball, he might have gone over for a try, and would have been a fitting reward for a guy that's had a very good game at the back there. He's been very solid for the Northern Eagles, Brendan Reeves, and well, he can have a beer tonight knowing that he's put his all in for this side and the wonderful victory.
The crowd want another try. Menzies held on to on the 20-metre mark. Last play of the game coming up. Goddard the dummy half. From Goddard to Dawn. Dawn kicks ahead for Brendan Reeves to chase, and he's knocked the ball down. He touches it down, but it was knocked on. Full time. The Manly faithful are delighted. Delighted to be at home on a full-time basis, and certainly delighted with the result of the game. The Northern Eagles defeating the Melbourne Storm by 36 to 22. There's a happy man. Ken Arthurson, the former great Manly secretary and of course former chairman of the Australian Rugby League. He's one person who was very, very happy that they're back at Brookvale Oval. 36 to 22, the Eagles defeat the Storm here at Brookvale Oval this afternoon. And while the Northern Eagles will be happy, that man also very happy. Below that whistle ref, Tom Keneally, a great Manly supporter. While the Manly supporters certainly are happy, the Melbourne coach, Mark Murray, the Melbourne side would be disappointed. They know that this was such an important game. They just made so many mistakes. They made a rod for their own backs. There may have been some decisions went against them, no doubt. They've just made so many mistakes. You can't win games when you make mistakes like that.
Northern Eagles were very good today. Not only did they turn around a deficit at half-time, but they really did go on with the job, and I just felt that that try that was scored, but we felt it was a forward pass, really broke the spirit of the Melbourne Storm, and the Northern Eagles thoroughly deserved to win this football game here today.
Let's take your sideline. Here's Andy Raymond.
Very tired, Scott Hill. It's been a big 72 hours for you.
Yeah, mate, it's been a big couple of days. It's disappointing today. I think we just made crucial errors at crucial times. I was probably to blame to a couple of them, so disappointed in our own game, but now we're just got to go back next week and pick it up against the Tigers.
The second half, you had no field position, no possession, and you're running into a stiff breeze. And really, the Eagles played sensible footy.
Yeah, they did, mate. They completed their sets and played the footy down our end, and had good defence on us. We couldn't get some decent kicks away, so disappointing. So just got to go home and get back into it.
Back-to-back wins was crucial for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. I think we need back-to-back. We need about 3 or 4 on the road, mate. So we've just got to get home this week and work hard.
Chin up, Hilly.
Thanks, mate.
A very disappointed Scott Hill and the Manly players going around doing a lap of honour, just thanking their fans here at Brookvale Oval. Probably say, well, why would you do a lap of honour for a club win such as this? But the players obviously know what's behind this, for their supporters to turn out on a very cold afternoon to say, we want to be back at Brookvale. And the players, obviously, particularly that man, Steve Menzies, just loving being back.
Yeah, exactly right, John. I think the players just want to show their appreciation. The fact that they've come out on such a terrible day and they've got away with the win, and they're just very happy to be back here in Brookvale.
The full-time score, the Northern Eagles, or the Manly Sea Eagles, as they want to be called, defeating the Melbourne Storm by 36-22. Back after this break to Brookvale Oval.